Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. If I do what I do for you, that's something nice for you today. Another quick lesson. I know y'all like them, so let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. Message and story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment. Excuse me, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. That's my program to get you to know you. That's what I do for you. Let's go. So I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you out with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is just foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and thinks and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual law clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinking, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I got a quick page of some information I think should be pretty important, pertinent, as they would say. So let's get to it right quick. Right thinkers, let's talk about the mystical symbolism of the story of Asar, Aset, and Heru. I call it the story of you because it got everything in it that pertains to you. If you break it all down, you'll see it and understand it. So let me just give you a quick summary of that's the whole concept. Asar represents you, the human soul. I break it down where you got the first five elements. Well, I asked had a student ask the question, what's this thing about the three sixes? I said, okay, six carbons, we carbon-based beings, spirit into flesh. We have six neutrons, six protons, six electrons. The first five elements are just that, elements. The sun, fire, air, water, earth, and heaven. Those are five. Six is man. That's what we call Asar. So the spirit into physical being became the sixth element. That's man. Watch this. So Asar does what? He represents the human soul. Watch this, which has incarnated where? On earth, where? In human form. Us. Again. Thus, he represents the innermost reality of all human beings. He, the spirit that's in us. Christians say that's Christ. I don't care, but I'm telling you from my perspective, just what I'm sure teaching, this is what I teach. Now, he represents all man, the spirit that's in man. The soul, what happens? Falls in love with what? Life. Life is Nephet. Isis is wisdom and understanding. Nephet is nature. He falls in love. They look just alike. They're identical twins. Watch this. So what? He falls in love with life, which is mortality. Okay? And with the physical human existence, which is symbolized by who? I just told you, Nephet. I know this. This is the story that, and when you can comprehend and understand it, it makes a lot of sense. So watch this. Your soul, which is a star, falls in love with Nephet, which is nature, which is mortality. When you deal with Nephet, you're dealing with death. Watch this. So the soul, what happens? Forgets its true nature. There's the part where I tell you we're not conscious of who we are. We come in with a blank slate. And that's why the goal of all human beings is to find out who they are. They left the creed, know thyself. And this is the perfect example of why you should know thyself. Why? If you know yourself, you know that you on God are one. That's the deal. That's why they can tell you the Egyptians had a whole bunch of information, a whole lot of stuff. But they left us this little block. Man, know thyself. and it carries a lot of weight. Why? Because I've been manifesting it. I've been mastering that for the last 35, going on 40 years now. That's why. Okay. So the soul forgets its true nature. And watch this. So it what? It becomes overpowered by what? The lower nature, the ego. Dun 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 dun. Okay. He steps in. Watch this. Your ego self will take out your regular self. Watch. Asar's brother, which is Set, represents the ego, symbolizes egoism and all of the negative qualities. Here we go. Right now, what's running the world is Set. Let me prove to you. All the negative qualities which a human being can what? Develop. You're not born with it. You develop this when they are what? Ignorant of their higher essence, aka self. I hope you're understanding this. I'm trying to go through it so it's really understandable. So what? The ego, which is Set, does what? Hacks to pieces your soul and attempts to stop any chances for it to what? Reincarnate in order to seek redemption and enlightenment. Your ego don't want to get you to God. It want to keep you with him. It want to keep you reincarnated, coming back so you can keep enjoying this world, which is where he is king. Y'all call it the devil domain. Yeah, hell, whatever. But understand that this is the negative aspects of your character as a person. Sorry. And it tells you when he cut the body of Assar up into 14 pieces. That's the hacking of your consciousness. That's breaking you apart so you never come back together. And what did Aset do? Being about to die, she went and found all the pieces to put them back together. The Humpty Dumpty story, but she put them back together. One piece missing, the phallus. But it's a symbolic concept, meaning the generative force ain't from down here in the body. She generated the force, the spiritual concept for him to come back to life for that one chance to incarnate, impregnate her with the spirit of his son, which is us, Haru, at the highest stage of consciousness. Watch this. So that represents what? Physical pleasure, earthly pleasure. Set is who? Nephthah's husband. They represent the lowest level on the bar, tree of life. You start with them. So you fall in love with Nephthah, which is the pleasures of the flesh. Okay, you run around here doing your egoistic stuff, which is Set. Set is also, watch this, the treachery of what? The world. The trickster, that trickster guy, you're talking about the devil who got you thinking you worshiping God, worshiping him because of your ignorance and non-knowledge of self. That's where we are right now. And watch this. This has been going on for a long time. That which, watch this, seems to be a promise of what? Pleasure is what in reality that snare which what enslaves the soul to this myriad form of what? Misery of what? Human existence. Joy and pain. Okay. When you have one, the other's gonna be there too. Set just wants what? Pleasure of the flesh. It don't care about the repercussions. It don't care about the consequences. Man, when that desire to that side chick, you risking everything you got for that bad decision all the time. Watch this. So with through human existence, if your ego is running you, you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna do bad and wrong things. Watch this. Thus, Heru, here we go. The hero. Dun, 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 dun. Heru represents what? The spiritual aspirant, you, right thinkers, and what? Your desire to study and practice what? The teachings, aka right thinker student. You're in practice to become your best self, to who you're gonna conquer. Now, Set is what? The distractions and pressure of life to what? Indulge in the pleasures of the senses, aka the flesh, the five senses. We deal in carnal. Carnal means flesh. Okay, spiritual means consciousness, higher mental. God is up here, God ain't down there. Okay, so that's what they're trying to teach you. This is the lesson. Now, I'm getting halfway through. Aset is what? The wisdom which allows a person to what? Watch this. Put together. She put Asar back together. Why? And the understanding of what their higher reality, aka the spirit. She is also what? The knowledge of how to call to the divine in order to discover one's spiritual essence. She got in touch with her higher self, which is Ra. She together with what? The inner spirit, as symbolized by what? The spirit of Asar, which is in all of us, are also what? The power within where? The heart, which gives a person what? Encouragement and strength, what? To face any adversity. If you're scared, your heart ain't in the right place. When Goliath came to David, David didn't have no problem. Why? His heart was right. Watch this. And when you face the adversities of the world, and then what? To call out to the divine for what? In order to attain spiritual enlightenment. You want to be a better you. That's what makes you an aspirant. You're aspiring to do and be better. I'm just giving you the ways and the means to make it happen. That's my goal. That's my mission. So watch this. So when a desire to what? Learn spiritually, to learn spirituality, when that desire emerges in you, the spirit of Asar, which is urging who? The aspirant onward. That's driving you. Then watch this. Then that movement towards spirituality is nurtured how? By the goddess as a mother who brings forth new life and nurses to health and growth by protecting it from what? The elements and from all negative influences for what? Until what? It is strong enough to stand on its own. Is that not what nature does? Teaches is young. The mother teaches kids how to get along. They follow. The mother is the teacher from the early age. The first 7 years, if you have a good, caring, loving mother, you're going to have a good environment to grow up in. The caveat to that is if you don't, you're going to have to learn to reprogram yourself to be a good person. Why? Because you didn't get it from the person you should have, which is your mother. That's what the women do. My mother gave me everything I needed from that female perspective that put me in a position to be a better person. Trust me. Women, you shouldn't have to be the father too. That's another lesson. Just be you. Stay in your lane. Aset didn't try to be a star. She took Heru, prepared him, and let him know this is what you got to do. That's what y'all do as women. Teach them. And watch this. Now, Apu, which y'all know him as Anubis, he represents what? The development of what? Listen, your intellectual discernment. We all have to have that mechanism to recognize BS, as I teach my students. You got to be able to smell it, recognize it for what it is. That's your discernment, knowing right from wrong. Okay. Me from the streets, my discernment is instantaneous. The ability, watch this, what's that? Your discernment is the ability to understand what and recognize truth from the untruth. If you have knowledge of self, the last thing you can be done is led astray. Why? My man, whatever you're selling, I'm not buying. How about that? Simple as that. My mother taught me the best way to stop a con man is don't talk to him. Don't give him a chance to run his con. Simple. Okay. So once you give him your ear, smooth talking, sweet talking, they might get you. But your discernment should let you know he ain't the kind of person to listen to. So you avoid that real quick. Moving on. Now, discernment is understanding truth from untruth, reality from unreality. And we got a crocodile God called Serbec. He represents the natural raw power of what? Your lower nature, the physical body. When it is supplemented, watch this, it's in place when your body, your lower nature, when it's supplemented and placed in the service of the higher self, that's set going to work against the real enemy, Apophis, the giant snake that tries to keep Ra from shining. So Set go from being the egoistic, no, he's just strong and he's just uncouth. Once you control him, corral him, put him in a working position, like I tell you, I use him to get me up in the morning, get me through situations. Why? Because he don't quit. He ain't never gonna stop. So that's what you want to be able to put him in a service position to the higher self. Okay, almost there. Okay, yeah. But how? How is this possible? How is it the ego can become a servant to the higher self when you control your emotions, when you get rid of greed, anger, jealousy, all the negative qualities? That's when it will just serve its master. Why? It become a servant now. It's not in charge. That's why. And you have to what? Just read a brief introduction. Excuse me. No, you have just read. Sorry, you had just read a brief introduction to what? The myth of Aset. Now we must find out what it means, right quick, to study her teachings. If you want wisdom, you want intelligence, you want to be your best self, she's one of the people study, learn her. Why? Because what it means to become her disciple. That's why. This is the path of SMAI, SMAI, or we call it yoga. It means coming together, unite, and yoking you back. So then we will what? We will understand her teachings and how to realize it to what? To make it effective in our life today. But that's old age. No, no, no. I mean, I didn't remodel, I didn't revamp all that. It's just as modern, it's just as good today as it was when it was instituted over 10,000 years ago. Moving on. The importance, watch this, of the goddess in the Asarian resurrection is prominent. Why? Because the resurrection works. Why? Because of her. Told you, when she brought Asar back to life by flapping her wings, okay, and knowing the secret words from Ra, she brought him back to life. Watch this. And because of her special knowledge, she learned again from Ra. She is the teacher of who? Heru, which is you. Well, okay, Maces, this is our mother. Aset is our mother, and we're Heru. Why? We the widow's son. And we learning what? How to defend and protect ourselves, to be upright men through our what? Mother Lodge. So back to the lesson. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know about that too. So moving on. When she teaches her root, which is really you, watch this, who urges you to what? Fight for what? Truth and righteousness. In the same manner, she is the author of what? The resurrection of what? Listen, every spiritual aspirant who seeks her favor in the form of what? Wisdom and understanding. Practice her teachings and she'll recognize you. Her divine grace, watch this, is secured by who? By those who revere her saga, learn her story, become a disciple, understand it, and then extol her glories. Understand and know who and what she represented. Why? And seek her company. Remember, she lifts the veil of ignorance. She's the one that enlightens you. No man has ever laid eyes on her. Why? Because you have to lift the veil of ignorance and see her spiritually with the third eye. Human man can't do that. Only spiritually enlightened people can. That's why. And the veil of ignorance is you not knowing yourself. She's giving you the understanding of knowledge of self. And watch this. Seek her company, follow her precepts, and my favorite, meditate on her teachings. I hope you got the lesson. I hope it made sense to you. I got some more for you. Stay tuned. I got some more. Trust me, I got more.